Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see y'all. Glad y'all all came in. Looks like we got Bjorn Jorgensen in the house. Hey, Bjorn, how's it going? Shambolics, my friend. Glad to see you. Looks like we got Radical Toys in the house. Good to see you, Adam. Good to see you, sir. Merry Christmas. I'm glad you got your Christmas present. It was my pleasure, my friend. And John from Super Awesome Geek Show in the chat this morning. John, I'd love to have you on the show. If you would come on in, I'd appreciate that, man. We're just getting started here today, and let me just do a quick shout out here to my Patreons. I appreciate all of you guys: Grindhead Jim, Pope, Will McLaughlin, Jim Largo, Masters Maniac Mexico. That would be Rolo for those of you guys who don't know, and Bjorn Jorgensen. Thank you so much for all of your support. You keep the lights on here at the Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Everybody's kind of just shouting out everybody in the chat this morning. Good to see y'all. If you're in the chat and you want to hear from me, just say hello. Sue Studio, good to see you, sweetheart. Glad to see you. You were on with me a little bit last night. Yeah, y'all learn a valuable lesson. Don't listen to shit I say, because I said I wasn't going to do an after show last night from AOM, and I did it anyway, and that's just my ass. You know, I just had to do it. I couldn't help it. Everybody wanted me to do something, so I decided to do that. Let's see who all's with me today. John, unmute your mic, buddy.
There we go. Hey, try to. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to see you. Merry Christmas, man. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas present from me and Paula.
I was overwhelmed with that thing. Actually, he's sitting right here. Look at this.
I know. I told you in a comment about that bear Chewbacca stuffed toy, but I wanted to tell you face to face where that toy came from and how it came about. My mother was a doll collector, and she bought a lot of things that I didn't even know she bought. And back in, I guess, right after Star Wars came out and the toys started hitting the shelves, and she was buying me toys from Star Wars, she bought that Chewbacca brand new off the shelf and put it in her collection.
Wow.
And it stayed there in mint condition till the day she died back in May of 2012. And we had to go through her things, and we had to, you know how it goes. I mean, I'm sure you're not a parent yet, but you may have gone through some bereavement. You have to go through their things eventually, and you have to go through everything that they've got and dispose of it in one way or another. And Paula latched onto that, and she kept it, and she put it in the closet, and it stayed there for years and years and years. I didn't even know it was there. And this Christmas, I said, look, I want to do something for some of my friends on YouTube that have been kind and done things for me. And she said, well, I'll tell you what, this Chewbacca needs a home. And I think that John from the Super Awesome Geek Show was the one for it. And I said, you really think he wants that? And she said, look, he's a Star Wars fan. I know he wants it. You send that toy to him. I bet you he'll enjoy it. And I said, got it, baby. So we loaded that thing up in a box and sent it off to you. And I didn't want you to know I was sending that to you. So I said, look, I'm sending you a Christmas card, brother.
Yeah.
And of
Well,
course,
she was.
yeah,
I mean, she was 100% right because I am overwhelmed. You know, it was. I knew you were sending a Christmas card because you asked for the address, and but I did not expect that a whole box. And I feel a little inadequate because I sent you something as well, and there is a card.
no. It
But
ain't about that. I mean, I've already got a present from you once this year that I didn't expect. And that was a comic book, and I appreciated that. But that toy right there, I just wanted to let you know the provenance on that is there's only been one owner of it before you.
yeah, and that bag he was in, I kept the bag because that's the original bag, right?
Uh, I
Don't you
don't
know?
think so.
Okay.
I think that toy was sold on the shelf just as it is with the little
Oh,
tag.
okay. I didn't know if he was like, yeah, in a bag in a little
No, he was
box
not.
or how he
I think
was.
Paula found the bags and all of the packing material here amongst all the crap that I've got here
Gotcha.
in the
Okay.
room, and we loaded him up. Tried to make him as comfortable as he could be inside of his little coffin. And we sent him to you, and I'm glad that you've got him out. He's breathing. I can tell that he's breathing back there. So
Well, he will find a home when the because I'm still during the break. I hope to finish the toy room in the living room area, this area that I'm in,
right.
and the toy room, um, and get it all set up. So he's temporarily sitting on the couch with me for
Well,
the next couple of
fine. As long as he's able to breathe and he's happy, that's all that
yeah.
matters. And then you're happy too. And
He will eventually go in the Chewbacca. There's like a Chewbacca shrine. I have all the Chewbacca action
yeah,
figures.
yeah.
He'll go in there eventually.
And if you don't mind, I would love to show the unboxing of that. Do you mind me showing that here on my
Go
show?
right ahead. Go right ahead.
All
Yeah.
right. Let's see where I put that. Right here it is. All right, everybody. This is John unboxing Chewbacca.
Hey, everyone. John here from Super Awesome Geek Show, and I have a box from Bill at Weird Fantastic Toys. So, let's see. Bill told me he was sending me a Christmas card, but he didn't say he was sending a box. Look at this, Christmas card. See, that's what he told me he was sending. Just this. And then we get a whole box. What are you doing to me, Bill? May all the magic and joy of this special season fill your heart from Bill and Paula at Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Thank you, Bill and Paula. I appreciate this so much. I would have been happy with just a card. My friends. Thank you so much for this. I am blown away. What have you done? Bill, what have you done? What is this? He's got a guy wrapped in bubble wrap in here. Bill, what have you done? No, you didn't. I have a suspicion. I think I know what this is. I can see his little feet poking out the bottom. Oh, Bill, what have you done? No. Oh my gosh, does it even have the little... No way. This is like almost brand new. It even has the thing on it, the tag. Bill, what are you doing to me? Dude, this is so awesome. An original vintage Chewbacca with bandolier strap, Kenner, Chewbacca, 1977. Wow, this is like brand new. Bill, what are you doing to me? I love it, Bill. absolutely love this. Chewbacca and R2-D2 stuffed toys. Washing instructions if you need to wash it. With the little card on it. This is like, oh my goodness. Bill, I am blown away. I am absolutely 100% blown away. I don't know how to thank you, Paula, Bill and Paula. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for this. I am a Chewbacca fan. I do have a Chewbacca shrine of a whole bunch of Chewbacca items, and this will go in the shrine. This is in absolute perfect condition. It is immaculate, brand new. I am just blown away. I love getting vintage stuff, and to have the tag. Oh, I haven't even seen this tag before. I have not even seen this. I want to. Oh, he's good. This is awesome. Bill, this is awesome. Merry Christmas, my friend. Thank you so much for this. I am speechless. I am blown away. I don't think my Christmas gift to you I'm sending lives up to this level of awesome. Oh. Oh. Thank you, Bill and Paula. I really appreciate it. I love this. It is going to go in a treasured spot in my collection, and I cannot thank you enough. Merry Christmas, my friends. I hope you have a happy new year. And to all, a good night. Yes.
That was wonderful, and I showed that to Paula, and I think a little glisten of tear came in the corner of her eye when she saw how just happy you were with that little stuffed toy.
Yeah, I liked some of the comments in the chat too. It's stuffed with love.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much those things are worth, and I really didn't look because I don't really.
I actually don't know.
But imagine you can't find them mint anymore with that bandolier strap. Because that bandolier strap looked like it was the first thing a kid would break.
Yeah, and the tag, of course.
Well, the tag always gets removed as soon as the toy gets given, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, Mom was a toy, a doll collector, and that was in her doll collection, and she wanted it to be just like it was the day she bought it. I think it even had a tag on it. The price tag was still on it.
Yeah, that's fine. I actually like it when I find even carded figures or boxed Star Wars with the price tag on it. Because I get enjoyment out of seeing that. Oh, KB, or this came from JCPenney or Sears, and
I really didn't pay attention. I don't know where she actually bought that from, and to be honest with you, I don't know exactly when she bought it, but the way it looked, I'm pretty sure she bought that in about 1978.
It says Sears.
Yeah, she did a lot. She did a lot of her shopping from Sears and Roebuck because what she would do is she would shop from the catalog, because we had a catalog outlet store in the little town next to us, and she would have the stuff sent there and just put it either on layaway or pick it up. But I never knew that we even had that toy here in the collection until she brought it out and said, "You need to send this to John at the Super Awesome Geek Show." And I said, "All right."
Well, thanks, Paula. Gojitron has it right. Our good friend Gojitron. The worth of this particular Chewbacca is now priceless because it came from you, Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. That's yeah.
Yeah, it is, and like I said, even I got something in the corner of my eye that day that I watched you opening that up, because it warmed my heart, and I don't give a lot of Christmas gifts to a lot of people because I don't expect a lot back in return. And but I wanted this one to go to you. I really did, because I wanted it to go to someone who would treasure it and put it in a collection and enjoy it. Unlike what I was doing with it, was basically storing him in a closet. So now he's out, he's free, and he's got someone to love him.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And how's things been going with you, John? Are you getting ready for Christmas?
Yeah, getting ready. I was trying to prepare myself for this week's. I got a little bit of work this week, and once I'm done with it, the sooner I'm done with it, the better. And then I'm off until January 3rd after that. So
lucky
I'm
you.
just trying to, get these last few days of work done, and then be able to relax and finish around here, because I want to get everything out and set up. I mean, I got a whole glass case.
Still working on the condo there, turning it into a
I got a whole glass case over there and a bunch of shelves that basically have nothing on them. And then I'm gonna do some glass fronts for these cases here.
Okay.
And I gotta put the lights in this one, and I'm making clear acrylic shelves for this one. Okay. So it'll be clear like these are clear. And then put the lighting in this one. And what I'm doing is I'm putting magnets. I'm drilling little inserts into these and insetting magnets, gluing them in. Okay. And then I'm going to put magnetic strips or magnetic things on the glass. Just get a plexiglass sheet or something. And then I can just literally stick it to the front.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
And then if you need to... Yeah, and if you need to take it down and move stuff inside, you just pop it off and then magnet it back up when you're done. Because if you make a hinge, I was thinking like doors, it can just get it's too big, for doors.
Right.
So, yeah. Gotta be creative,
Did you come up with that idea on your own, or did you see another YouTuber do it?
No, it's partially because I watched Joey the Padawan Collector.
Okay.
He bought a case from who's the guy, the collecting guy, is it Collector's Cases or Collector's Archives? Mm-hmm. I remember, I'm sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, but he bought that one with the Star Wars racetrack, and it has the colored background.
Okay.
Figures in it, and he magnets the glass front on. So it came from, I'm sort of borrowing the idea from them, but yeah. I would totally love to buy their cases, but I just don't have that kind of money right now.
Well, I totally understand that.
Yeah. So I just did the next best thing, and kind of did this, but maybe someday in the future I can afford one of those cases and I'll update. But for now, this is what I'm doing. And it works.
Whatever works, but you have an awesome home there, and the way that you set it up is just awesome. And I'm sure that here in the coming year, as you finish it up, that there will be another tour of the
or maybe it'll have to be like a 2-part tour, but like one room at a time, right?
And Zazel's in the house. Hey, Zazel.
Yeah, Zazel.
And Jim is, of course, my co-host here normally. And today is his day to shine. However, he's having some internet issues there. I don't know if you guys realize it, but I think today is the final of the World Cup there in the old football world.
Yeah.
And down there where he lives at in Guatemala, they're big on their footy, So I think his bandwidth has kind of shrunk quite a bit, and we've been having issues with getting him on the show today. I can see him moving around down there in the green room, so I think he's here. Largo, if you want to hop in, you can anytime you want, my brother, and talk to John for a little bit. We'll see how your connection is doing.
You guys were going to talk some G.I. Joe and Valaverse stuff?
Well, I think Largo kind of convinced me that maybe we need to scale the G.I. Joe back and try to focus more on Action Force and Valaverse there. But G.I. Joe is involved in that, so that it will touch just a little bit. But
now I'm mesmerized by his background.
Yeah, well, he's got such an awesome collection there.
Well, and a great way to display it. Look at all that. Look at the way you've done that. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful.
Brian here is wondering if it's just the internet or your in-laws.
Yeah, behold my stuff.
I was thinking of G.I. Joe and
in-laws and outlaws
and Valaverse.
They love to steal bandwidth.
I got I bought both and Sergeant Slaughter right here in the house. I got the Sergeant Slaughter Valaverse Action Force, and I got the Sergeant Slaughter Classified G.I. Joe from Hasbro, and I was just thinking when I I put the Valaverse in a box, so I got to pull him out, and I want to do a comparison video. I want to look at them both side by side because they're
yeah. That's something that me and Largo talked about last night. I kind of wanted to see what the contrast differences were, and how well put together the Valaverses are compared to what Hasbro's putting out. I don't collect this stuff, so I'm kind of a little bit in the dark. So the roles have been reversed today. Okay, normally it's all about He-Man and Masters of the Universe, and Largo's sitting there going, "Okay, what is this about? Tell me more, Bill." And now it's going to be the other way around, because now Largo is the expert and I am the one going, "Hey, what's that? I don't understand. Tell me more." So,
well, I'm certainly an enthusiast. I don't know about expert.
Okay. And John, I take it that you do collect the Valaverse figures as well as the.
No, quite frankly, Sergeant Slaughter is my first Valaverse. I actually love Sergeant Slaughter, and I that's why I appreciate when the guys at Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse pop in. I love watching their show, especially when they get the man himself on, and he tells us these stories about his career and life. I am all in for that. I just love it. I love Sergeant Slaughter. I have since I was a kid. The guy is an amazing man, and so I get his wrestling figures. I try to collect everything Sergeant Slaughter. So Valaverse Sergeant Slaughter was my very first Valaverse figure, and I loved it, and so much so that I do now want to go and get a few of the others, and I mean it was a great introduction to that line. And so really, that's my experience with Valaverse.
Well, we have the great honor of
that.
knowing Sergeant Slaughter's best buddy, Zazel, over at Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse, and he's let us know the genuine guy in real life, super dude. So that's cool.
And
exactly.
Be in the chat today with us if he hasn't already gone back to bed. It's good to see you there, Zazel. And Zazel was commenting on your festive hat.
Yeah, it is a Christmas hat. See, he's wearing a little Santa hat, so it counts as Christmas.
Yeah, so he's a Christmas flamingo. You have an awesome hat collection there, John. I've seen more than just that hat on your head. So do you
the shark? I have the shark.
Do you collect those little beanies? Is that something?
Well, sometimes when I'm at a store, I see them $5 marked down or something. I just think it's a funny thing to do, and I like being goofy and weird.
Is it always an animal related hat, or do you have like the one with the propeller on the top and all that?
No, I don't have a propeller hat, but I do have a Burger King crown around here somewhere.
Okay.
So, you remember those Burger King crowns?
Yeah, they used to give those out to the kids at Burger King. I don't think they still do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And Grindhead Jim was talking to Largo here. He says, "Bull crap, Largo. You know more about Valaverse than anyone in our immediate peer group." And I agree with him on that. And Bjorn is giving us a link there to the direct site to Bobby Vala's site for Valaverse. So there we go, guys. And I'm going to turn the show over to Largo. Hopefully his internet connection is going to allow him to give us some insight on that. So we're just going to hang back here, Largo, and we're going to let you have the spotlight here for a minute, okay?
Oh, did he just freeze up?
I think he's frozen. He moved a little bit there. Well, hey, there he goes. Are you back?
My signal is just giving me all kinds of trouble today. I apologize.
Well, we understand. Hell, I've gone through it too. I'm sure John has. We all have. That's part of live streaming. And some of my viewers, like Pope, for instance, likes to watch us try to work through all this stuff. That's part of the entertainment for him. So, like I said, if you can, I want to give you the solo layout and let you just give us a little overview there of the Valaverse and how Action Force came to be. Can you do that for us there, Largo? All right, here you go, brother.
I'm going to try. I don't know how well you guys can hear me because I'm kind of going in and out. It all kind of started here. I'll pop this up real quick, hopefully. Right. So this is where Action Force started for most folks. Palatoy in the UK created Action Force, and it was based on their super popular Action Man, which was a 12-year, very similar to the G.I. Joes that we had as kids growing up. So they kind of took it and ran with it and made their own thing. So when Star Wars or 3 3/4 figures became super popular, Palatoy was looking for a way to capitalize on it. So they took down their 12-inch Action Man and created Action Force. So you can see here on the side of the SAS soldier. The book in the middle here is a fantastic fan book about the history of Action Force that was put out on a Kickstarter recently. And if you ever want to know anything about Action Force, that's a great resource. I would recommend, if you want to know the ins and outs of the history of Palatoy, check out our buddy Tony Roberts on Analog Toys, because he just knows all the ins and outs, and he does some great videos over there that can tell you all the lore. So I will pull up a few other pictures. I apologize. So let me pull up a couple more images here to show you the Valaverse version of this. These guys with my custom head and my Humvee back there.
Largo. Hang on just a second there, Largo. Let the internet connection settle down just a little bit there, brother. Good to see you there, Ticket. Glad you showed up. Yeah, Largo's internet connection is a little slow this morning, and Largo, you're gonna have to re-say everything that you're saying if you can hear me.
You're a Motu fan, and you love
Largo. Largo, can you hear me, brother?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go. Your share screen is blank right now. We can't see anything on it, and we can barely hear you. You're kind of in and out. Let your internet connection settle just a little bit, and let's try that one more time. Okay. Bear with us, folks. Like I said, the football game's going on down there in Argentina or somewhere, and the Guatemalans are all watching football today, so they're stealing all of Largo's bandwidth.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, he's going to have to reboot. Wilhelm Toy and Hobby, I think your mic is off right now. I can't unmute it because you've got
hello. How are you?
Will, good to see you, man.
It's time for action. I came here to celebrate Action Force with my buddy Jim Largo.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard because here he's back. He's having a little trouble with his internet today. All right, Largo, I see you down there. You can come on in whenever you want to. You have the power. There you go, brother.
It's worth the wait, people.
I don't know how much of
it is. It's still messing with him. Let's see if this can settle down a little bit there, Largo. Well, Largo was telling us that just a little bit about when this started, and maybe if his internet connection will settle just a little bit, maybe you can do this without sharing some screens and just talk with us a little bit about it, Largo, if you can, and we'll just sit here and listen. He's frozen again. Here we have the wonderful internet deciding not to cooperate at all with us today. I see that you have your Action Force shirt on there, Will.
I do, and unfortunately it's a little tight, so I don't wear it really out because I bought it from the booth the first year Valaverse launched. I was down there at Joe Fest, and I got it. This is an extra large, but I don't know if you've seen the Action Force team. They're all pretty slim guys, and I'm a big fat meatball, so I don't really fit in it too well. But I like to wear it when I'm on stream because you can't really tell.
Okay. All right.
Are you printing a helicopter back there?
I am not. That is a. Sorry.
Is that the MASH helicopter?
Don't even tell me it's MASH. Is that the one from MASH? Oh my gosh!
And this is just the rotor was missing, so I printed my own replacement.
Wow.
There. Sorry, don't mean to be a distraction.
Beautiful. I love it.
All right, let's see if Largo can talk again. Try one more time there, Largo. I think
testing 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, brother. Come on.
There we go.
It's just not going to happen.
I've got a major delay on my end. Yeah, I think it's the World Cup. Everybody and their brother is watching football today, and it's just giving me fits and starts with the internet.
Well, they got it on in the other room. I can hear.
if you're clear, then I'll just keep a thumbs up and you keep talking. If I hit stop, you can stop.
There you go. There you go.
Well, there's definitely a bit of a delay, so I'm a little discombobulated. But how about you guys ask me some questions and I'll respond. That way I can tell when you can hear me or not.
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'll start. So we had started. You were going to tell us a little bit about the history there, and then all of a sudden everything froze up and went away. And I apologize, folks. He probably won't be able to share the folder of pictures that he has for us, but we can get the gist just from what you tell us there, Largo. Go ahead, man.
All right. So, are y'all familiar with a toy company called Palitoy?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Palitoy was big in the UK, and they did a toy called Action Man, which was a 12-inch figure based on the American Hasbro G.I. Joe. But they kind of made it their own thing. They did some custom costumes for him, and it was super popular. And then Star Wars came out. And suddenly, 3 3/4 was all the rage. So everybody wanted those little plastic figures, not the great big ones. So Palitoy responded by creating the Action Force. So they took their 12-inch figures and shrank them down to 3 3/4 and created a new line called Action Force. They created their own custom characters. Some of them were based on the 12-inch figures that were popular in their range. And then the next year, they expanded the Action Force and created separate teams within it. Very popular in the UK. And later on, they incorporated a lot of what was the O-ring G.I. Joes in the States, and they became Action Force in the UK as well. So that's kind of the pedigree of where everything came from. Many, many years later, a strapping young lad named Bobby Valla was working at Hasbro and cut his teeth on doing some designs for Marvel Legends and for the G.I. Joe line that they had it going, the Pursuit of Cobra. I think he worked a little with that, which was the 4-inch line when they brought him back for the anniversary. And he also worked on prototypes for a 6-inch line of military figures for the G.I. Joe. But Hasbro at that time decided they were just going to wait on that because the movie, the second G.I. Joe movie, wasn't very popular. They decided to cancel the third movie, and so they just put that in mothballs for a minute. Well, a little bit later, Bobby parted ways from Hasbro and decided to strike out on his own and created Valaverse. And he's always had a great love for military figures, and being a toy designer, he decided I should start a military figure line. So he found out that the Action Force name was available, and he used that along with one of his favorite characters, which is the Steel Brigade, which was the old mail away. Let's see if I a little bit of a glare there. So he took the concept of the old mail away Steel Brigade and took the name and created his own version of that for a modern military. I've got one out of the package here so you guys can see it. Again, I apologize for the camera, but
it's looking okay there.
Where he differs from what G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. What Bobby differs with. Oh, go ahead.
Did he have to get the trademark somehow? I mean, how did that happen? I mean, we know how very protective that these toy companies are of their trademarks. So something must have happened so that he could get the trademarks to the name Steel Brigade and some of the figures there. So kind of touch on that while you're telling us about that.
Okay. Well, basically, as I understand it, in order to keep the rights to those names, you have to renew it every so many years. And apparently Hasbro had the rights to Action Force and weren't using it and did not renew their rights. So when Bobby found out about that, he applied and was able to secure the rights to use the name for Action Force and the name for Steel Brigade, and created his own mythos, which is separate from anything that came before. So it's completely his own. He's created his own little universe and a storyline, created some comic books to go with it to give people an idea of what this setting is. It's slightly in the future. And so all of his figures have modern tech, and their nemesis, the Swarm, are very high tech. As you can see, they even have a flight pack, super detailed and a lot of fun. So he's just having a lot of fun with it. Had a rocky start to begin with, did a Kickstarter, wasn't successful the first time around. Second time around, he tweaked a few things and was successful. And now he's off a Kickstarter, created his own website, and he's already up to his third series officially, which will be coming out in January. In between the second series and the third, he came up with something called the Special Deployment Series, which is some exclusive figures and some re-releases of figures that sold out. So one of the exclusives that came out with the Special Deployment Series is this one here called the Infantry Commando, and it was a Dorkside exclusive.
Wow.
Which was kind of a snafu. The pre-orders came through great. Dorkside's been having some problems and looks to be going out of business. So what Bobby did is he bought their remaining stock, and now those exclusive figures will be available on his Valaverse website. So hopefully that means we won't be seeing any more exclusives for a while, because those are so much fun to try to hunt for.
Yeah.
But the figures are great.
Let me stop you there for a second there, Largo. We got a couple of questions here in the chat. First, Adam wants to know what the overall quality is like versus classified. He sees that the price point is similar or close to classified. And of course, y'all might have talked about that before, but he's kind of wanting you to touch on that just slightly.
Okay. Well, let me put a disclaimer out there, because some of the Hasbros get their panties in a wad sometimes. You can like both. I have some G.I. Joe classifieds, and I like the classic characters. I also like Valaverse. So it's not a either or. They are made to be compatible. The weapons and accessories that come with Valaverse are compatible with G.I. Joe Classified. In my opinion, the weapons and the articulation are superior with what Bobby Val is doing, but that's just my opinion. To give you a example, here's a Cobra Trooper, and here's a Steel Brigade. So you can see they're the same scale. They have the same kind of foot pegs on the bottom. Let me get him off his stand here. So the foot pegs are identical. They'll work together. So if you have a Hasbro classified figure that has trouble standing, which some of them do, you can use a Valaverse stand. It works great. All Valaverse figures come with a stand, and they are super useful when you've got characters that don't want to stand up real well. Ironically, the Valaverse figures are so stable, they don't really need the stand. They stand perfectly well without it, but it's nice to have. As far as articulation, the major difference to me is the torso. Bobby went with a ball joint torso. Let me find one that doesn't have a vest on it. Here's one of my customs I've done. Here's my old salty dog. And as you can see from his chest, I'm going to pull his shotgun out of the way here. He has a ball joint at the upper part of his chest, so he's got a superior range of motion there. That is one thing that's different with the Hasbro classified. You can't see because he's got a vest on that doesn't come off, but underneath his ab crunch is more limited. It doesn't have a ball joint. It just goes forward and back. It's like a rocker. But it's not bad. It's just a little different choice. The major difference that I see is the quality of the plastic. Because Hasbro has certain requirements in order to be child safe for certain ages, they have to use a softer plastic, which can be a little gummy. That also means that all of their weapons are kind of blunted and rubbery. Because Valaverse is an adult collector and doesn't have those same restrictions. He can use a harder type plastic that's more rigid and gives you a more realistic detail, especially in the weaponry and in the durability of the figure itself. So that's kind of
Jim. Jim, if you don't mind, Valaverse also makes weapon packs, right? Like, so we actually could buy some of those weapon packs and put them with our G.I. Joe, correct?
Absolutely. Let's see if I can grab one here to show you. I had everything set up for the toy cam, so I apologize if I'm going to be reaching around for stuff.
Well, that's okay. I've had this problem in the past, but you bring up a good point there, John. I asked him about that last night when we were preparing for the show. They do make the weapons packs, and the weapons are compatible with the classified figures.
And Jim, before you start there, if you could hear me, can you talk a little bit about some of the innovations that Bobby Valla put into the toy line that I'm not saying were directly influencing, but then Hasbro kind of came out with later, like the blast effects. Hasbro came out with those a little later, and they fit exactly. And there were some other things too. And just one point is that, Bobby Valla created this company to create the toy that he would want, and when he worked at Hasbro, it's a corporate world and there's some restrictions and things like that.
Yeah.
And, you want to go the extra mile for your customer. His name is on every package, so he makes sure he puts out the best product, and he's going to, put that money into it and the time and effort. Whereas Hasbro, you got a team working on it that, they get tangled up in the weeds and stuff like that. So some quality control things might slip through. But that was my only addition there.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right, Will. As far as innovations go, I think the biggest innovation is, quality control for one. He doesn't let anything leave the factory unless it's 100% the way he wants it. I wouldn't say that's true of other companies. So he definitely makes sure, even if it causes a slight delay to get a product out, it's not going to hit the market until he thinks it's the best it can be. These are the weapons packs. This is the Alpha that was the first one that came out. And as you can see, they come in kind of a neat little storage locker. And you get a great selection of weaponry. Wow. There are 4 of these now. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta is the newest. And as you can see, it comes with, let's see if I can get, there it is. apologies, blast effects. So for pistols and for rifles, he comes with little blast effects that will go on the weaponry. I have one here somewhere. Yeah. I'll show one on one of the scarabs. They fit great. They look great. If any of you have any of the Mezco figures, they also have a similar type blast effect. Gives a, show of something coming out of the barrel there, and it just looks neat for toy photography and for display. These work so well that it seems that Bobby inspired Hasbro to start including some blast effects with their G.I. Joe Classified. So another great thing about Valaverse is when they innovate and they do something that really works, other companies are watching and they will incorporate things that are compatible. So they kind of complement each other really well. So that's always a nice thing. Another great thing with Valaverse.
Adam wants to know if the blast effects also work with the Joe weapons.
They will with the newer versions of Joe's. The original releases of the Classified, they did not, because they came with what we call Nerf guns. They weren't based on anything in the real world. Newer iterations, they've come out with newer, more realistic weapons, and they will have a place for the blast effect. Valaverse blast effects will fit.
And I wanted to just kind of come in here real quick and let guys know, if you're wanting some blast effects for your weapons, there's a company called Super Action Stuff. They have a website, superactionstuff.com, and they also sell this stuff on amazon.com as well. But the Firepower pack comes with blast effects, all different kinds of blast effects, including back down here, I think it's right over here, you have bullets coming out of guns, and it's a little tab here to put it in the barrel. Some sticky tack, or I use magician's wax, whatever. We'll pop that in there and make it stay. And they also have another pack called the Bag of Violence, and it's got the blood splatters and all that kind of stuff that you can add, so that when the bullet goes through their head, comes out. So if you're looking for some action figure photography and you want some quick and easy and cheap stuff, I just wanted to plug them real quick. Sorry about that, Largo. Here, get you back on full.
Oh no, that's fine. Those are great effects and well priced. You can find them either on Big Bad Toy Store. I believe you can also find them on Amazon.com. Speaking of which, for our international friends who have trouble ordering directly from Valaverse.com, Valaverse is now available also on Amazon, which can help with shipping and getting to some international places that it's a little tricky.
Real quick, Largo, Phil Adam in there. These figures are not retail figures. Do you have to buy them online from either Valaverse itself or from one of the online retailers that carry them? Correct.
Correct. The best and main source is, of course, Valaverse.com. He sells everything through his website. He also has partnerships with a few other toy distributors, such as Big Bad Toy Store. He was working with Dorkside. It looks like they're not going to be around much longer. The new kid on the block called Hella Dope Toys. I've ordered from them. They have Series 2 of Valaverse. And they will start carrying more in the future. They're another good retailer. Who else? There are several. Those are the kind of the top ones that come to mind. Nerdzoic is another good one. And Hard to Find Toys, I believe, is another website. All these are ordered from Bobby and will sell online. So if one is sold out, you can look around and find it somewhere else. The Series 1 is pretty much sold out everywhere. So some of the main characters that were in Series 1 are sadly no longer available if you missed the boat, like the Bone Collector. He was a Series 1. Rumor has it that in the Special Deployment series sometime next year, there will be a re-release of this figure. So it's the first time you can catch him when he comes out. He may have some slight variances, You know,
maybe
the paint detail will be a little different. But
somebody just gave us
yeah.
Thanks, Jimmy Salzburg. I appreciate that. Here's a cup of coffee for you to catch the replay. All right, brother, no problem. But we appreciate every little bit that's donated here. So thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that, man. Go ahead, Largo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. The getting back to some of the innovations again, original characters, modern weaponry, modern equipment, and a storyline that is very unique. This is one of the unique characters. This is Karak. He is the leader of a faction known as the Garrison Cavalry. I love this gladiator helmet.
Is the helmet removable or is it made into the figure? Oh, wow. Okay.
It is removable.
That's sharp right there. You don't see that very often, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got great detail.
Look at that face.
Particularly fond of he's fierce. I'm fond of the shotgun. He even has a holder for his shotgun. If you remove that, you can see the logo for his group that he leads.
So Bobby Bella has created a whole backstory of where these characters came from and why they're existing. And you and I talked about that a little bit last night. Can you just kind of fill us in on that, because a lot of us may not know how that fits in, and maybe that there's an unnamed special terrorist task force that maybe existed or once existed that maybe in the background of that kind of lurking too.
Yeah, there are several interesting factions that he's created. And the comic book series, he did a limited run of comics called the Mission Files. There are 8 of them so far. And they're standalone stories. Did he
self-publish those, or were those published? Did he self-publish those, or were those published by a comic company?
They were self-published, and he released those through his website. Let's see, I've got one here I can pull off the wall. Maybe, if it wants to come down.
No, if it don't want to come down, don't bring the wall down with it. There we go.
Sorry for the glare. So these are the Mission Files. This is the most recent one, which is featuring a character we'll talk about in a minute, the Desert Rat, a.k.a. Tony Roberts. And I got a signed copy from Bobby, bless his heart. Super great stories, great artwork. Again, he really wanted to showcase and spotlight certain characters and give little tidbits and hints of the world that they're in. It's set in the future, just a few years away from now. The idea that
future next Sunday AD.
Pretty much. The idea that the United States is going to go through some troubles. We might lose California to the big earthquake.
No loss there.
Well, yeah, I agree. The Republic, as it stands, goes through some turmoil and breaks up into different groups. Basically, each of the states become more independent. And so there's a bit of chaos. People are trying to figure out where they fit as far as trying to put the nation back together after a major cataclysm. And so the main group that has come out of this is a group called New Colonia, which is basically a collection of former United States that are trying to make a coalition and start a new government. Their troops, if I can get him up here, are Karak's troops. They are the cavalry, Garrison Cavalry. And you see their logo on the chest is a red and blue flag with a white star. And most of the storyline that Bobby's doing at the moment is based in Texas. And so these guys are kind of a major player in the political game there. Again, they've got great helmets that kind of give a idea of, gladiators. The visor will flip up, which is a nice feature.
Well, you don't see this kind of articulation and level of detail in toys today. You really do not, people.
No, they're very well done. And again, all the pieces are compatible with other similar lines. One nice thing as far as innovation goes, helmets are removable. The vests are removable. They have a tab, so you can take them on and off, use them on other characters if you want. Super detail on the communications gear, as well as sidearms. Everything is usable. Everything is. I don't know how well you can see that.
I can, and I'll notice that he had a walkie-talkie on the back. I bet that it comes out, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. The walkie-talkie is one thing that doesn't come out.
Okay,
but it does have a separate antenna on it. Let's see if I can.
Yeah.
Apologies for the.
But
it's nice that it's included because again,
all the vests in the LCE gear have tabs on them so they can be removed. Unlike classifieds, which are basically glued on, and you have to cut it to get it off.
That is correct. Yeah, they're not made to be customizable as much as these are. The knife is removable from the front sheath, and as you can see, he's got more detail back behind there. He's got a unit badge. All of these clips that are in the pockets are removable and are also compatible with the weapon. You can take the clips out and change them if you want.
No, don't tell me that you can change out. No, come on, man.
Yeah, and that's also something that Hasbro later adopted. The newest wave, like Dusty, I just got Dusty from the classified, and I noticed he has a magazine that can go in and out, and so they took that right from Valaverse. I guarantee it.
Let me clarify something for our viewers now. The fact that Hasbro is quote unquote copying Vala here by doing it, it's not a bad thing. Okay, it's actually a good thing.
Allegedly,
it's a good thing because that makes the classified figure line an even better line than it was before. So we're not knocking them for doing it. We're saying, okay, they finally see the light. They see that Vala was right about this. Go ahead, Largo. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh no, and that's a fair point.
I had one. Thing. Oh, sorry. I had one more quick question or point. I think I saw some of those troopers, like what you just showed, and doesn't he have different gear so that you can buy 3 or 4 troopers and make them all look a little bit unique? Like,
yes, sir.
So it looks like a unit.
One of the newer,
yeah.
This is a Delta gear pack, and it comes with the vest, the helmet, sidearm, your rifle, backpack. So totally customizable. He comes with the basic troops are just basically the figure, and the newer ones come with one sidearm. Then you can buy weapon gear packs like that to enhance them, give them full gear. You can swap things out. I have a few examples here of some of the older ones.
You can kind of build a squad. You can kind of build a squad of troopers, and each trooper will look a little bit unique compared to the others.
Exactly. So with the Delta troops, I'll pull a couple examples here. This is a fully kitted out Delta trooper. And as you can see, he's got all the gear on here. I don't have his aerial on his walkie-talkie yet, but looks good. And this is a earlier weapons pack for like a heavy weapons pack. So he's got a little bit different vest. I've put one of the gear pack weapons on there for him. So he's got a little bit different look. But yeah, you can definitely create a heavy weapons guy to go in your fire team. Mix and match accessories to create a unique look.
Gogutron says he believes that some of the backpacks will also open up in order to store accessories, which is also another action feature that you don't see anymore or never have in the past.
Yeah, that's an innovation. Exactly. That's an innovation that Bobby came up with when he was in the design phase. So you have a peg to go on the back, just like you would for some of the earlier G.I. Joes that we had as kids with the O-rings. But what he's done with these larger figures, he's made it to where you can actually take off the back and store extra weapons or extra hands or whatever accessories. So the backpack is,
so instead of being a solid block, it's actually a usable backpack.
Exactly. And these backpacks are compatible with some of the classifieds, just because, again, another innovation with Bobby, all of his figures work with all of his figures. In other words, all of the neck joints are the same, so you can swap heads. They're all compatible. All of the back posts are the same, so you can use backpacks on all the different figures. Whereas with Hasbro, in their infinite wisdom, they vary from figure to figure. Sometimes the heads will have a different neck peg. Sometimes things won't be in quite the right place, or so it's meant to be compatible. But every time Hasbro makes a variation, you just never know what you're going to get. That said, you can do some great customizing with these with just a little bit of jiggery pokery and ingenuity. So, for example, I like Duke. I was not crazy about the version of Duke that we got, especially since his shotgun was not terribly accurate. So I made a custom Valaverse body for him, but the head is super. I'm sorry, this is Flint. I've got Duke over here too. I misspoke. But the heads are compatible, and so now I've got these guys in my Valaverse group, and work great.
Yeah, Jim has some great kit bash or custom figures that he made. I was hoping he could show off Hot Tuna and the gang back there. Jim put it up on his Instagram to name some of these, give them code names, and the one that I think stood out was Hot Tuna. You got to see him; he's funny.
Absolutely, I call this my spare parts mercenary group because they're literally made from spare parts and kit bash. This one has been a fan favorite on the Instagram. He is codename Hot Tuna for obvious reasons.
Oh, wow.
I was not so much a fan of Jason Momoa as Aquaman, but for those who remember Stargate SG-1 or Stargate Atlantis, he played a character on there that looks very similar to this.
It's got kind of a Snake Plissken vibe going there, too.
Yeah.
I thought about trying to do a Snake Plissken. I'm still looking for a good custom head that will work, but this is that's right, Hot Tuna. This is a Mezco head from a Aquaman figure, and it fits great on a Valaverse body. Even the skin tone looks pretty good. So I took parts from one of the basic troopers for the legs. This is their urban gear that came out in Series 1. This is a Karak midsection to get that torso piece. His leather vest came from a Marvel Legends Punisher, and it's even compatible with the hole in the back, so I can put a Valaverse backpack on him. Gave him a nice deagle, Desert Eagle there with holster, and a very nasty looking Mezco persuader of sorts.
Wow.
So he's a favorite, and it's a good way to just show you what you can do when you want to come up with your own character. So he's my custom mercenary, Billy Badass kind of guy. But I didn't want him to be lonely, so I made some friends for him. Have any of y'all watched The Terminal List on Amazon or read the books by Jack Carr?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you made, didn't you make our guy from Terminal List? Yes.
I did. Here is James Reese from The Terminal List as a Valaverse commando with his signature tomahawk and scowl and 5 o'clock shadow. The head came actually from a Jurassic World figure, but again, super compatible. I had to make some adjustments to make the head fit the neck post. That wasn't hard. And again, just pieces, parts. He's using a lot of body parts from the Duster figure, with a few, accessories here and there. So we've got our James Reese.
So basically, what that means is that you will buy multiple of figures from Valaverse just so that you can make these wonderful custom figures.
Absolutely.
More money to Bob Fala, in other words.
Yeah, it's a great marketing gimmick.
It is,
in my opinion. The idea that he made them to where they're super customizable. The only tool you really need, and it depends on your climate, you need one of these. This is a heat gun, which I lovingly refer to as my laser pants weapon, because Ryan Laser Pants is the one that turned me on to these. I got the desert camo one for Desert Rat. But a hair dryer or even a bowl of warm water will work. You just need to warm it up enough to where it's easy to pop the joints. And they come apart at the torso. You can swap out the feet, the hands, the head, and make your own really easy. The
Valaverse figures also come with separate hands, so you can have different hands with them as well, right?
Absolutely. One of my pet peeves with the classifieds is when you buy a classified figure, more often than not, that's the hand you get. You get a trigger hand, and you're stuck with that. So if he's not holding a weapon, he looks a little goofy. Some of the newer ones are coming with some additional hands, but with Valaverse, right out of the gate, every figure comes with 8 hands, basically.
Okay,
you've got 4 for each side.
We noticed that the heads pretty much fit the head ball joint. What about the hands? Can the Valaverse hands fit in the classified wrists?
Sometimes.
Okay.
They are compatible with some classified. They are compatible with some Marvel Legends. But again, because the Hasbro bucks vary from figure to figure, you just have to try it. But you can make it work with slight modifications if you really want to. So if you want to give one of your guys fists or weapon holding hands, you can do that. As far as size and scale, they're absolutely compatible. It's just whether or not the post will fit whatever figure you want without slight modification. You might have to sand it a little bit or heat it up, but that is an option. So guys who were fans of either The Walking Dead or the Netflix Punisher series might want this guy, and he's got that 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah. I'm just blown away by the way these figures are just so customizable with what we already have out there, and just the possibilities are just limitless at this point.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that, while Bobby Fala he acquired the name Action Force, which is a great name, by the way, and I think Steel Brigade. This is a completely original story. These characters and the lore that goes behind them is completely original, and I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it's great to see something new in this age of rehashing and remaking and everything that we live in. So getting something new is just great.
And another thing with Bobby is he's to fans and also reaching out to people who know about the legacy of Action Force. He reached out to Tony Roberts from Analog Toys, who is definitely an aficionado on all things Palatoy, whether it be Action Man or Action Force. They created a friendship and have a great camaraderie, and have even started their own YouTube. They frequently are on the 3 POA podcast with our buddy Ryan Laser Pants. And that friendship started with an interest in the toy line that just expanded into just being buddies who hang out and, talk wrestling and whatever else comes to mind. And it just so happens that Tony Roberts is a veteran. He served in the Australian military as a young man, and then went on to serve in the British military as an SAS soldier. When Bobby found out about Tony's pedigree, he decided he deserved to be in the toy line. And so he created Desert Rat, Desert Rat was one of the code names for one of the early Palitoy Action Force figures. So he gave him that code name. And as you can see, if you've ever seen Tony on video, this is a spot on representation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful figure, and it's a great homage not only to what came before with Palitoy, but it's a great shout out to a super fan of all things Action Force and Action Man.
And that's not the only figure that he's done like that. Is that correct, Largo? He's done some more figures.
That's correct.
Of people.
Yeah, and I hear that he's doing others as well, right? There's to be
That's
announced.
another innovation with Valaverse. It started with Sergeant Slaughter. He, one way or another, approached the Sarge and asked if he could put him in his toy line. And Sarge was happy to have him in there. Again, a super detailed campaign cover. Great sculpt for the face. I mean, that is what the Sarge looks like today.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, in the storyline, he took someone who is retired from a undisclosed special group. He used to work for the military. Now he's retired, and he has been recruited by the kind of the main character of Action Force, which is the Condor. And Condor is also former SAS, who has come to the United States to aid in their time of need and is putting together a special team to help out, which becomes Action Force. And Sarge is the guy who whips him into shape.
Okay.
So maggots.
Now,
so
Hasbro also came out with a Sergeant Slaughter figure, and I was kind of curious as to how they, and Adam was as well earlier, how the Slaughter figures compare and contrast. Do you have a Hasbro Slaughter figure handy?
I do not have the Hasbro figure.
It's a good figure. Jesse. Yeah,
I think Jesse has it. Yes.
A great comparison where, he said the Hasbro one is the one you saw in the cartoon. That's your G.I. Joe the movie Sarge. Larger than life. He's a little bigger and younger looking, and then this is the real world Sarge.
Okay. Yeah,
so they both have their place in your collection.
Yeah,
exactly. The Valaverse one is using modern gear and is a good representation of how the Sarge looks today. The Hasbro classified one is more exactly. He's stylized. He's very much like Sergeant Slaughter was in the cartoons. He's a little larger than life, but fun figure. Just not my cup of tea. I prefer this one.
Okay.
So in that same tradition of bringing in real people into the line, he brought in not only Tony Roberts, but someone who is also a veteran and an MMA fighter. This is codenamed Duster, Tim Kennedy. And again, another great figure, a lot of innovative pieces, superposable, a lot of fun. And I'm especially a fan of his alternate head he comes with, which is his Sunday go to meet and let's kick some butt face. That's his Guy Fawkes beard and angry look when he's getting ready to put his dukes up. And I have him in his little custom.
That issue of the comic is really great as well.
Yes,
you read that one? Yeah.
Great story. And so again, with the comic books, he put out a limited series of mission files, 8 of them so far. I don't know that he will do any more. He has said that he's looking to do a collected version, like a graphic novel that collects all of the mission files. And he will, I think the first 5 or 6 issues are available if you like Comixology and you want them digitally. The rest of them will follow eventually when he gets time to get them downloaded there. If you want physical comic books, you can also get those from the Valaverse website. Mm-hmm. So there's different ways to read the story. And if you just go to the website, there are little vignettes of the missions. So you can actually read the story. You can read the story plots and get a look at some of the artwork and hints of things to come. As we were talking about earlier, there are several factions. There's the Garrison, which is Karek's group. There's the Swarm, which are a mystery group of enforcers that have been showing up. So these are kind of the main antagonists of this storyline. Not necessarily villains, not necessarily heroes. You just don't know yet. And of course,
is
the action force.
Is there a set of actual villains in this line yet?
Well, sort of. I mean, I would use the term antagonist better, because there's not so much a clear idea of who's good or bad. Because
it's
this
not
is,
like
again,
G.I. Joe versus Cobra,
theme.
where Cobra's just trying to take over the world. They're all kind of fighting.
Nothing is that black and white in the Valaverse. Everybody has an agenda.
More real world, like, in other words, each faction has their own agenda, and it's not necessarily evil, but it may be more self-centered.
Karek could be considered a villain, but I would say he's much more complex than that. He is the hero in his own story, if you know what I mean.
He's
to him,
ruthless.
he is doing the right thing and trying to put things back the way they should be. But sometimes his methods put him in conflict with the Action Force and other groups. Again, the storyline is fantastic from the comics and gives a hint of things to come. If you're interested in the story building and the lore, Bill, was it Nedro, the gentleman who helped him with some of the stories for the comics, just put out a novel of Valaverse. Yeah. It's called Broken Alliances. It is now available on Amazon in hardcover, and will probably be available electronically later on next year. So I'm excited to read that. My copy will be coming in January. So I love the backstory stuff.
That's going to be great, and
it is definitely geared towards adults.
There's definitely going to be a movie, right?
Yes, sir. It was officially announced, I believe, at the Joe Fest this year.
A cinema
in production
or a cartoon movie. Excuse me, a cinema movie.
It'll be live action.
Live action.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So many of these characters and some we haven't met yet will probably show up in the film. He's working on it. He can't really discuss the ins and outs of it yet, but it is in production.
And Masters Maniac Mexico, our very own beloved Rolo, has shown up in the house, and he has something that's just got him going here. John, Rolo wants a flamingo hat. Is there any way you could hook him up?
You know, there might be. I found it at Target. So I'll be back at Target this week for a couple things I got to do with my Lego job. So I'll take a look, and if there is, we'll figure out a way to get it to him.
All right, good deal. And Gap After Dark has joined us. Good to see you there, Gap. Glad you came in. And World Made of Cardboard wants to know, if they're making that movie, who's going to play Tony?
Personally, I hope it's Tony Roberts, because who can play Tony better than Tony? But we don't know. But yeah,
he
might opt for somebody.
Sounds so awesome, and I hope that that the things that have been teased do work out for us. Now, we know that that there's been two waves so far. There is a third wave. Is that out, or is it on its way there, Largo?
It is on its way. The first two are available now, along with the in-between series called the Special Deployment Series. And that is a couple of re-releases of the most popular characters, which tend to be the Steel Brigade and the Swarm Trooper. So those have been re-released, along with Blowback, which is a new character. I don't have him yet on the slow boat because I'm out in Guatemala. It takes a while to get my shipping, but he's coming. Series 3 is all about the ladies. It's an all-female wave because, unlike some other toy manufacturers, Bobby believes guys like to have female figures, especially female figures that look like they can stand up in a fight.
Well,
so his figures are not going to be little stick figures.
Guys
they're going to be
girls.
built.
Who ever heard of such a damn thing?
I know. So one of his favorite characters that he created And one of mine too is this young lady. This is Pandora. And as you can see, she's not somebody you want to tangle with. She was featured in Action Force Mission Files number 7. Her story is hardcore. This is an adult story, as you can see from the advisory. This is not for children. However, the figure is fantastic. I've seen the prototypes. I've seen the proofs that he's shown. Because again, Bobby is all about letting the fans know, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is where we are at the factory. This is when it's going to ship. So Series 3, all the lovely ladies coming January, definite.
And I take it that Bobby Vala is a very approachable individual and does listen to his clientele.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
He's not
Actually,
one that'll put up
Bobby
with
just
shenanigans,
posted
but
a Facebook video, or maybe it was on Instagram. He's at his factory packing orders before Christmas, and this dude is slipping $100 bills in some of the random packages. I think he took $500 and just put it in a tin. Yeah, he really loves his customers, so or his fans. I mean, he really cares. But yeah, that's what he was doing this Christmas. That was such a cool thing.
As a special bonus to the fans, he did, as part of his special deployment series, he created a couple of new releases that were specifically for December. One of which is a re-release of the Special Ops Trooper, which is the all-black Trooper, which I haven't shown, but I will. Pardon me. Here he is.
I think I saw this figure last night. He's got night vision goggles on.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now all of them come with night vision, and those are also removable.
Oh right.
And can also be twisted up, so when you want them in the off position, they can still be on the helmet.
Okay.
But the Spec Ops Trooper has been re-released, and he will have a new set of gear. This one is the Series 1 gear, which is a little bit different chest arm. The new one will have more of a tactical vest kind of style. But the big thing that just came out is a weapons tin. Not just, the weapons packs are great. The weapons tin is humongous. Comes with all kinds of stuff. And it is a shout out to a group called the Crimson Shadows, which is a mystery group we don't know much about yet. They will be hinted at in the novel that just came out. Their logo is available. You can see that on Valaverse website, as well as some of their T-shirts. You can get a T-shirt with the Crimson Shadows. They're basically the arms dealers of this universe. So I'd say similar to Mars with Destro in that storyline. That's kind of what Crimson Shadow will be or is for Valaverse. But we don't know much about him yet. It's still a mystery. But yeah, he did some great releases there. And unlike he didn't do pre-orders, all of what came out for December he had in stock. When I made my order, it was immediately packed and shipped and is on its way right now. So I may even get it before Christmas. Who knows? Most folks in the continental U.S. will get it before Christmas.
That would be wonderful if they could pull that off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, like Will was saying, Bobby's right there in the trenches. Not only is he designing the toys and talking with the factory and making sure everything's right, he's in the office packing the orders. He's got a hardcore group of friends that work with him that make sure all the orders are met and any issues are dealt with. But he's slowly growing. And yeah, you can see there at the website, there's some fantastic examples of stuff. If you go to the special deployment series, Bill, you can show that Crimson.
There's the money.
Crimson Shadows tin that just came out.
Yeah.
If you want extra weapons for any of your other guys, he's got you covered with this set. And I believe it is still available. I don't think it's been sold out yet.
I'm looking for special.
Another nice thing. Okay. If you go to the store or product. Let me see.
Yeah, click figures. Click figures.
Let me make the picture a little bigger on my end. Yeah, go to store
Scroll.
products figures. Yep.
Just
So these are the
down.
series that have come out already. Series 1 and 2 are available. 3 is in January. Special Deployment is the one that is just coming out now. Blowback is the newest member of Action Force, and right beside him there was the Crimson Shadows armament pack, the big 10 there at the top. That one. See it? Arsenal 10. So it's a really nice metal case that you can use for storage, whether you're storing file cards, figures, or weaponry. 98 weapons with interchangeable magazines and muzzle effects.
What's pretty fascinating about that is if you look at the price point, $80, 98 weapons, that means it's less than $1 per weapon.
Exactly.
Think about that for a minute. Well, where else are you going to get that kind of deal? That to me, it actually is a deal. You know what I mean?
Just on the weapons. Then you got the magazines, the muzzle flash effects.
And exactly. These are not 3D printed Etsy. These are not some fly-by-night. These are actually made in a factory, hard plastic, detailed weapons. Bobby works with guys who are weapons experts that help him with the designs. Mark II Design is one of the guys that works with him, and he does fantastic work. And you can see the level of detail there is, I mean, if you took one of those and you took a real weapon and held them side by side, the detail is there.
Well, and the interesting thing too is a lot of them are 2 or 3 colors. They're not just, I mean, there are some that are solid black, but the gun in real life would be solid black. But there's also the silver and gold, like the gold, the wooden parts. I'm blown away by the detail and the paint apps and Oh,
absolutely. And it really shows on the figures that he put paint apps and detail with the weaponry so that it matches and complements the figures.
I do also like they threw a couple gold ones in there for the rich bad guy.
Oh yeah, gotta have a little bit of bling.
You have to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and just wow, Jim. All I gotta say is, because I know about Action Force. I've been following them since the start and collecting. So, but anyone who didn't know about Action Force, the way you presented it today, and kind of told the story and brought everyone in, I think is sure to be, something that could be rewatched over and over again, because you really did paint a great picture of the product in this awesome toy line.
Well, great. I being a fan, I have nothing but good things to say about the company and the man who runs it. And just to show another example, here is a Hasbro Punisher wearing some Valaverse gear. So you can see it's totally compatible. He's got the leg pieces for his sidearm. He's got a wicked-looking Bowie knife there and a nice rifle.
Yeah, and it's clearly not an either-or situation. This toy line, one, can stand on its own. It's 100% awesome. I think they call it Action Force as F, is one of the things.
Yes.
They say,
Action
but it not only does that, but it also complements all other lines in the same scale. So this works.
Yeah, if you're a 112 collector like me, it looks great on the shelf with almost any other 112 line that you can think of. Another good example is if you're into MMA fighters, which I am. This is Cowboy Cerrone. And this is from Jazzwares. One of my favorite fighters. Loved him so much, I put him in the Action Force, because you got to have a cowboy if you're going to be in Texas.
All right.
Nice.
So this head is actually from the Jazzwares Cerrone figure, and works great with Valaverse.
I'm wondering if some of the AEW wrestling figure heads would work on these books.
Unfortunately, some of them are a little too big. However, some of them are more 1/10 or 7-inch scale, so they're a little big. Mm-hmm. Bobby has hinted that in either Series 4 or 5, he will be doing a new, larger buck for bigger boys.
Okay.
And so some of those heads might be compatible with those when they come out, probably next year. And if you like some Stranger Things action or perhaps an angry Russian, we've got old David here. Another great one.
Okay.
Nice.
Somebody's calling you, Largo.
I know. Apologies.
They're calling.
My phone was set up to be the toy cam, and for some reason,
Man, this guy blew up quick, huh? There's one live stream, and now his phone's ringing off the hook.
That's my agent.
Yeah, they're going to cast. They're going to cast them in the Action Force movie.
Yeah, now, yeah.
I will be cannon fodder number 1.
Well, like everyone has just been just glowing here in the chat, saying that you have done a wonderful job of filling us in on Valaverse.
Yeah, absolutely,
it's been a learning experience for me. Like I said at the beginning of today's stream, today was kind of a reverse day. Largo got the floor, and I got to be Largo. Largo usually sits there and watches me do Masters of the Universe going, okay, I don't understand any of this. Can you fill me in on this, that, or the other? And today it's been the reverse because I know very little about Action Force and Valaverse. I know a little about G.I. Joe. So it's been a very, very much a learning experience for me as well. And if I had the money, I would be all in on this because these figures are so customizable, and that's my cup of tea is customizing. So
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, like I said,
you can put your own spin on it.
The Sergeant Slaughter was the first Valaverse, and now going through this, I actually really like the idea of building like a squad or a troop, and getting those custom packs and making my own group of. I like that idea, so I can get a couple of these. I could get a couple of the characters that would be like the leaders of the group, and then a bunch of troops behind them, and they would all look different.
Speaking of customizing, John, 1000th Ghost Toys wants to know if flamingo hats are available for our Action Force figures.
We'll have to get a whole touch with them and see if we can do a
the limited edition Fortnite, guys.
and Gap After Dark wants to know what your channel is, Largo. So. I could answer that, but I'll let you answer him. What is your channel, Largo?
My channel is Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. I am Bill's sidekick. The only other place you'll see me is a social butterfly in the chats of some of our other favorite toy collectors. And I do have an Instagram. If you like toy photography, I'm at Jim Largo 42 on Instagram.
Thank you there, Largo. And
I think we could get a link in the chat for that, right? I'll see if I can work in that.
All right, thanks. I appreciate that, Will. Either you or Bjorn's going to be probably right on that.
And Will, put your channel in too, Will, so other people have that, because I know there's a couple guys that probably don't have your channel also.
Yeah. Wilhelm Toy and Hobby has joined us today. He's down there at the very bottom of the panel list here on the side, and he does have a wonderful channel, and he's done some wonderful things. I did catch the one that you did in the car the other day when you were telling us what it's like for those who are not toy collectors to listen to us spout off. So that's a good one to watch, guys.
It is, and thank you very much. I do want to say, beyond my wildest dreams, I'm just a jerk with some toys. That's pretty much my whole catch line. I'm happy to share them with you guys, and if anyone watches, that's just a bonus. I just feel that I have so much stuff here, it's nice to share. So I never dreamed that when I created a YouTube channel that I'd have more than just a handful of my friends watching me. But I will say that this morning I woke up and I have 91 subscribers. I'm 9 subscribers away from 100, and
congratulations!
And I haven't done much in a month. I haven't even I streamed last week when I saw that NFT.
Let me interrupt you there, Will.
Yeah.
All right. This guy, listen to me, chat. This guy is 9 subscribers away from 100. So if you haven't subscribed to him, shame on you. Go subscribe to him now. If you know somebody that should be subscribed to him that isn't, you go tell them to go subscribe today. let's get this guy up to 100 before the end of the day. How about that?
There you go. There you go.
That would be really cool,
Absolutely.
but that's 90% more people than I ever thought would ever want to listen to me spout on about toys. So,
Well,
I appreciate each and every one of you.
do that. All right. So, and at Thousands Go Toys, I think it's got way.
Well, let me just say in closing on Valaverse that, it's a fun line. If you enjoy military type figures, if you were a fan of G.I. Joe back in the day and Action Force and whatnot, you're going to love these. If you want file cards with your figures, you can with Valaverse. They put file cards right on the box with a write-up of the character. If you like flag points from G.I. Joe Hasbro back in the day.
Memories right there. That brings back
we
a lot of
have
G.I. Joe file cards.
Mm-hmm. If you want to collect for something good in the future, you can collect your action points. The whole idea is have fun. This is a fun line. If you want to customize and make your own thing, like John was saying, if you want to create your own special unit, everything you need is at your fingertips. If you just want to collect and study the world building, cool.
Well, you'll get Gap and Ghost.
Thanks for the opportunity to share one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bjorn and Thousands Ghost has put your link up there, Will, and also Will, our friend Rolo says you might think you're a jerk, but you're a jerk with Mexican, German, and American jerk forces behind you.
I actually say that it's an episode of or the very first episode of Futurama, when I think Fry's feeling bad about being stuck in the future, and Bender just goes, "We're all jerks here. I'm a jerk. You're a jerk. That guy over there." And there's like just some guy in the diner who's like, "Hey, what I do?" I don't know.
I'm a jerk. You're a jerk. Drink, Dr. Jerker.
And I laugh every time I see that joke. It's just stuck in my head. And, but yeah, I'm just a guy with toys. Nothing special. So,
Well, and that's the thing. We're guys that enjoy these things. We have fun. And it's allowed us through the modern of technology to get to know people all around the world who have similar interests. We've got a great community. And I'm just sharing one of my passions. Some guys are into Star Wars. Some guys are into Masters of the Universe. And we can all get together and play with our toys and have fun.
I was saying, you talk toys, I talk toys.
We have a pretty good cross-section. We have a pretty good cross-section here on today's panel. We have Largo over there who is big into the Action Force. And we have me big into Masters of the Universe. We have John down there who is big into Star Wars. And then we have Wilhelm Toy and Hobby, who is big into what? Tell us a little bit about.
Well, to tell you the truth, G.I. Joe 3 3/4 scale. The Real American Hero is my number one favorite thing. I don't show it enough on camera, but I have an entire wall of G.I. Joe stuff over there. Okay. I always get caught up in all these other things. For years I've been obsessed with does it scale with G.I. Joe? So pretty much I'll collect any line that I could shoehorn, even if it's just a little tall, a little short, whatever. If I could fit it, I see a 4-inch figure or a 3 3/4-inch figure. I really don't care. I get Fortnite stuff, the vehicles, stuff like that. As you can see, I've even MASH back there because it scales. I'm even doing a video. Let me just show you guys something, because I think you guys are going to like this. But I'm doing a video on this. I bought this because I thought it would scale with 1/18 stuff. So if you want to see something coming up, this is from 1990. This is used to be a staple of the toy community. I'm going to bring it down in a second, but I'm just going to show you. This used to come out every year, and I worked for KB Toys. Look at this beauty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that fire truck.
Yeah.
Look at this beauty.
Very cool.
Huge, and it's kind of 1/18 scale, but not really.
Yeah.
Anyway, we used to carry these every year, and I would look forward to them. They were seasonal items. It was a Christmas item. You wouldn't get this year round, but we would get these big old boxes of these, and we'd stack them up in the windows at KB Toys. We'd get this.
Oh, you were a KB?
Yep, the train sets.
Chris 1000th Ghost was a KB manager also.
Awesome.
Yeah.
High five. So we get tons of those, the little keyboard set, the big fire trucks, the cranes. They don't make those toys anymore,
No.
Anyway, I found this one, and here I could show you. This was at Goodwill.
Oh, wow.
for $3.99, and I rescued it. And well, I'm not lying when I tell you I put batteries in it and it works. And it does everything. I want to do a video on it before Christmas. I've been dying to get this out there because it's such a cool toy. And, it's just one of those things where, I wanted to just share it because it's like, they don't make these anymore, and those were like, it didn't have a license behind it, an IP behind it. It was just a really cool toy that did really cool things. So even if you were a kid and you didn't collect stuff or you weren't particularly a fan of firefighters, you would see this thing, put some batteries in it, start working it, and you'd be like, this is fun. I mean, this thing's amazing. So yeah, it does everything. But look forward to that coming before Christmas, 100%. I don't know when.
Right. And Bubba Hicks wants to see that 3D printed Ironhide that you got.
Oh, absolutely. Where is he?
He's lost.
No, he's right here. You kidding me? If I were to move this camera,
Will is our resident 3D printing guy. That
everything you've seen on stream for the last 2 months just piled up on either side of my camera.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, because I haven't done anything with it. But yeah, this was this guy. It's a 3D toy maker on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel, and he has a Patreon where if you sign up for $1 a month, you get access to all these files. And he makes these. These are G1 cartoon accurate Transformer models. All the main G1 characters. They're non-transforming, but I scaled mine up 225% to make him compatible with G.I. Joe because that's always been my dream. Is to have. I told you everything 1/18 scale, if it scales. Wow. But I also love Star Wars, Masters of the Universe. I mean, I love all these toy lines, but I'm just in love with 1/18 scale.
That's amazing. There.
Oh yeah, one other thing that has been kind of a point of contention for folks. 1/12 scale is notoriously hard to find vehicles for. The 1/18 scale is much easier to find good vehicles. Bobby is listening. He is in the process of developing a vehicle for Action Force that will be in the 1/12 scale sometime in the near future.
We're talking like Humvees and tanks.
Yeah, it's based on, if you look it up, it's called The Tank. And it's like this company somewhere on the East Coast, I forget where, but they basically convert Jeeps, like stock Jeeps, into armored military vehicles. And it's like one of those big four-door Jeeps with like armor plating on it and everything. And I think the version they're doing for Valaverse, because he partnered with this company, is an exclusive or an original design, slightly tweaked. But I remember seeing those things on
the company name is
in the show
Rezvani.
Yeah, Rezvani, and it was featured in the show you were just talking about with why can't I think of the name? The Terminal List. They had one.
The 3POA or
no, the Terminal List on Amazon. Yeah, they featured their vehicles in that show.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and thank you to anyone that subbed to me. I think you guys are awesome. If you want to come along with me on my crazy toy talks, then I really appreciate that. But can you take me off the big part now? I'm feeling.
Well, you had the center screen there because you were talking, so I gave you center screen.
All right, thanks, Bill. But yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to pop on with you guys today and talk.
No problem. I like having a selection of people, and I like being able to have questions from people other than me, because you may have a question that I don't come up with in my mind.
And John, it's so awesome to. Oh, there he is, John. There he is, John. I love the show. I love watching you. You're just such a great guy, and you always have so much fun doing your streams. So it's a pleasure to share a panel with you as well. Largo, I see all the time. So, and Bill,
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm glad to say that I just checked and you're halfway to your goal. You've got like another 3 or 4 subscribers from this.
I told you, before this day is over with, you'll see your 100 subscribers. Will, you've done quite well in a short period of time.
100 more than I deserved, and but I appreciate every single one of them.
Well, I thought before.
Yeah, we definitely enjoy.
Before we stop today, I thought maybe you guys might like to see what I've been working on here lately.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's nowhere near where I want it to be. What I was talking to Largo about this. It needs a restoration. I've started. I've got the bridge is almost about 75% complete here. I need one more railing for it. That is on its way. No, Bjorn, we're not going to talk about anything majestic next week. Anyway, as you can see, I've added a proof of concept here in the middle. We all know that Snake Mountain has what's known as the blood falls between the two.
Oh,
and so
nice touch.
Yeah, so I have started working on something here so that I can have a blood falls on mine as well.
Yeah, well, that's Bill. The hinges were there, right? Didn't this close? So normally you would see hinges.
That's correct. That's where the hinges are. And that is, I went down to the dollar store yesterday. We have a Dollar General in town. As a matter of fact, we've got about 15 Dollar Generals within a 25-mile radius of my house, maybe even more. But anyway, I went to Dollar General and I was just messing around, and I found some Christmas ribbon. And it had a velvet on one side, a real nice velvety feel touch to it on one side, and it was just this blood red. And I thought that would be perfect. And so I kind of did a little bit of trimming on it with
did
my.
Did you wash the playset? It looks.
I haven't. Well,
really.
I went over it with a wet cloth.
Okay.
It still has its original stickers on it, and I don't want to submerge that in water and dish detergent. Yeah. And of course the microphone still works. As a matter of fact.
It does the voice changing, right?
Yeah. Let's do this real quick since I.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the stupid story about what I did with the wolf? When I was a kid?
No, you did
not.
Please.
Oh, I found one of these on the garbage when I was like walking home from school when I was like a teenager. It was just parts of the shell, but the wolf handle was there. And I didn't take the whole thing home. I just like took the wolf because it looked cool. But then years later, like my friend was telling me about LARPing, how you could take foam and make like a sword. And anyway, I made the wolf handle, the handle of my sword.
Cool.
I cut it open and I pulled all the guts out, and I glued it onto a metal pole, and then I took to my dad's he had a home gym with all those pads on it, and I took those and I slid them over the pole and then carved them down and wrapped them in duct tape. I mean, super pissed off. But no one used the gym machine anyway. There were just clothes hanging on it. But, anyway, just a weird thing that I had this wolf head handle for my, crappy LARPing sword for like years. I don't know. Every time I see it, I think
of it. But, you were asking me what all I've done. I haven't really truly washed this thing yet. To do that, I'm going to have to take it apart. I'm going to have to take the screws out that hold the electronics in for the voice changer and get it out of there. And I'm probably going to have to take all the stickers off of it if I actually do wash it in dish detergent like I want to. So that means I've got to make another order to Zach Paris to get some replacement stickers for it. But
they look like they're in good shape, though. Those stickers.
They're not in the best of shape. They look better on camera than they do in person, but they're in such good shape that I'm reluctant to really do that. And I was talking to Largo about this the other day. I've been toying with maybe doing a paint on the outside of this thing like I did with Castle Grayskull, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to touch up some of the scuffs. Like he's got some scuffs here on his face, and he's got some of the paint's wore down on the moles on his nose. So, I may just touch up the paint and leave it as is. I don't know. That snake up there is bugging the shit out of me. I want to get a hold of it, dry brush real bad, but
that would bring out a lot of that really nice sculpted detail. Would really pop if you did some just a wash over it. Yeah.
A little bit of dry brushing and these roots, all these roots right here look like they need to have a little color put in them. But and of course I'm missing the manacles, but have no fear. Talos Dream Shop is going to fix me up with a set of replacement manacles that are going to be better than the original, because these are going to have actual plastic link chains in them. So that's a plus, and so it's not going to be a 100% vintage replacement, but I mean it's going to look fucking good, and that's all I care about.
Well, I think it looks great already, Bill. I mean, I really
Yeah.
do. I mean, you've done a great job with what you've done so far.
Yeah, and never fear. This railing is on its way, and I had purchased replacement railings from a 3D printer person, and the thing is, I'm not satisfied with that altogether. So what you see is vintage railings, and I'm going to have another vintage railing over here. One of these, I was telling Largo, I actually fixed it last night with my little drill and pieces of wire and some of this good old stuff right here called super glue. And I asked him to take a look at it up close, and he said he couldn't tell. So
yeah, no, I can't see it from
37
here.
in the house. Lack Sivrak, he's in the house. Good to see y'all. Don't worry about it, Lack. Like I told you when you instant messaged me the other day, being a dad is more important than anything else in this whole world. So
yeah,
no worries.
Lack, Gilster, are you guys subscribed to Will?
Yeah, if you're not subscribed,
get on there.
Will, go down there and subscribe to him. Now he's like 2 subscribers away from.
Yeah,
100.
we're trying to get him to 100.
Oh, thanks, guys. You don't have to do that. I appreciate it, though.
But yeah, so yeah, that's my ongoing project. And like I said, I'm working on the blood falls. I think that piece of ribbon there is going to be a damn good looking blood falls to hide the hinges there and just kind of give it this little extra pop there.
Yeah. Lack's been doing some great story times. I've been
yes,
yeah.
I drive to work, so you got to check
all
him
of
out
those
too.
back,
I put a link in the chat for him.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. Yeah, y'all go subscribe to Lack Sivrak if you haven't also, and let's give everybody here that's baby YouTubers. Let's get us all up to at least 1,000 subscribers so we can make a little bit of that one of those fat stacks like Twitchy TikTok talks about. But anyway, we're getting up to almost to the 2-hour mark, and I think me and Largo have come to the conclusion that 2 hours is about where everything needs to come to an end. I want to thank John from Super Awesome Geek Show for coming in. And John, I was going to say this earlier today, but now that we got a good little crowd here, you have one of the most awesome introductions to your show ever, and all of us are just in awe of that Super Awesome Geek Show introduction. Can you tell me a little bit about how that introduction came to be?
Well, yeah, so it's a couple of pieces here. So I started a podcast. Well, my friend Jason in Seattle came to me one day and said, I want to start a podcast. And he called it the Super Awesome #1 Geek Show. And so this is going to be a little bit of history as well. It's all wrapped up in this. And I'm an old man, so I ramble.
Right.
But we couldn't figure out #1. Like when you put in a website, do you do NUMBERONE? Do you do #1, the actual #1? So we dropped #1. It became Super Awesome Geek Show. Mm-hmm. And then I took it as Geek Toys. Jason wanted to do Geek Technology. And I ran with Geek Toys and Comics. And then found out later that Jason meant technology gadgets, not Geek Toys. So he went and did a different show, and I kept the Super Awesome Geek Show. I asked if it was all right. He said, yeah, run with it. You go with it. It's fine. And my friend Eric has a studio for recording music, and I went down to his house, and we made up the music that you hear in my video. And at the time, I did an intro for the podcast, and you'll like this, Bill. The intro for the podcast is actually modeled after He-Man Master Universe cartoon, where I say, like, Fabulous secrets were revealed to me the day my friend Jason came to me and said, I want to start a podcast, and it's like, and only a few others know this secret. And I listened off the co-hosts who were in the podcast, and we made this music for the background. But when I moved it to YouTube, I dropped the verbal part of the input in the intro and just kept some of the music. I shortened it down a little bit, so it's just a snippet of the music. And then I wanted to do a similar thing to the way they do Marvel, Star Wars, even DC Comics, where they flip through images of the fandom as the logo comes up. So I just kind of threw in, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Dino Riders in the background as that Super Awesome Geek Show logo kind of zooms in or whatever. So yeah, it was a mix of a number of different things, like all coming together to make that little intro.
Like I said, that it's a wonderful intro, and a lot of the people here have commented. I've seen the comments in your comment section that you have probably one of the most awesome intros ever.
Well, thank you, Bill. Thank you.
And Lack was saying something about commercials, so let's see if I can do this. I was messing around with OBS last night.
This toy comes with something that can really open up your imagination. Its own legend.
He-Man! Skeletor is his enemy.
It's the Masters of the Universe collection. And for my kids, the legend begins here with Castle Grayskull. He holds the powers of the universe. He-Man, Skeletor has captured Castle Grayskull. We must stop his evil power. The Grayskull! Defeat He-Man's forces, but leave him to me. Here I am, Skeletor.
He-Man! Skeletor is getting away!
But Castle Grayskull is safe with us. Nothing's safe while Skeletor is out there. And so the legend continues in this Masters of the Universe collection. And in the imagination of my kids. Look for it. It's new from Mattel.
And
wow.
Check this one out.
I love that.
Is Snake Mountain ready to take on He-Man?
Snake Mountain, battle armor, He-Man, and Skeletor each sold separately. With the mountain together. Batteries not included.
Is your serpent ready to strike? Come, He-Man. Come to Snake Mountain.
Snake Mountain with Echo Microphone, new from the Masters of the Universe collection. Action figures each sold separately. From
Wow.
And my camera decided to go poo-poo on me. So we'll go back over here. All right. So
that's great. Go. I love those commercials.
Hey, I don't know if you had any other wrenches in the chat, but I was just dropping some links, people. Please look in the chat. Those are some of the people in the channels. If I missed you, please just shout it out, and I'd be happy to put a link in the chat. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe. We've got a really great toy community here. Trying to see if I got everyone. And I was just Googling, everyone's name. So if you don't, please let me know. I'd be happy to post it in there.
Yeah, and Michael Purvis is in the house. I think you put his link up.
Thanks to all of our favorite. Thanks again to all our favorite wrenches and or spanners. If you're in the UK, you guys do a great job helping us out.
Be my guest, Lack. If you want to copy some of the stuff that's on the show. Unlike some other YouTube channels, I'm not. Everything I've got's been borrowed from somewhere. I think it was one of my mentors, Pop Hayden, that said it's not stealing, it's called research when you get it from enough spots.
Or it's an homage, right? Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the actual files go, Lack, if you get in touch with me by DM, I can hook you up with the actual files that I downloaded. I just got them off of different spots in YouTube and places like that. But just messing around with learning how to use OBS and different softwares, I figured out how to layer that stuff together so that I can kind of present it a little better. But yeah, it's been fun. And of course, Wilhelm Toy and Hobby brings up a good point. Resurrection Toys. I noticed, I think Thousandth Ghost subscribed to Masters Maniac Mexico's channel here on YouTube. That channel is kind of not dead, but let's just say inactive right now. But if you want to watch Rolo in action, you need to go and subscribe to Resurrection Toys on Twitch, because he does almost daily streams every day, showing what he's doing there. He does some magic, not the kind that I do, but kind of making his own dioramas and making his own stuff. So you check that out. Feeding the Ducks has just played. That means that it's time for us to go. Thank you so much, John, from the Super Awesome Geek Show, for being here today. Thank you, Will, and thank you everyone who's been here. Let's see if my camera actually pulls back up here so that I can. Nope, it's not. So I've got something else that I can do instead. I can do this, and I can say goodbye to everyone. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, and subscribe to all these channels that you've seen put in the chat, and we'll see you all next time. And I want you all to remember, and today has been a very good day to see it in action. As I always say, together we shall triumph, and we'll see y'all all next time.
Special thanks to these supporters on Patreon. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video.